Oh, fabulous. It really feels like Christmas now listening to that. Merry Christmas, everybody, by Slade, because my next guest is Don Powell, musician and drummer of the legendary group Slade for over 50 years. Their hit Merry Christmas, Everybody was the band's sixth number one single in the UK, earning the Christmas number one slot in December 1973. Welcome to the show, Don.
You, Hannah. Thank you for making contact. This is going to be a goodie, I think.
Oh, absolutely. It's lovely to chat with you. How are you doing?
Pretty good, thanks. I don't know what it's like for you, but we're definitely in the festive season here in Denmark, Hannah. We got lots of snow. I'll be getting ready for it.
Oh, wonderful. I bet it's the perfect place to be there. It looks gorgeous, I expect.
Well, it is. I mean, it does. I think no matter where you are with the snow, especially this time of year, you can imagine it just looks like Christmas.
Yeah, definitely. I was in the UK for a few days last week, so I was excited to see snow for the first time in years.
Was the snow there?
Yes, yeah, there was.
Well, that's been a long time since we've had a white Christmas in the UK.
Yeah. It was really nice. I think it's gone now, unfortunately, but it was.
Oh, okay.
It was really, really heavy last week. So how long have you been in Denmark for?
Nearly 20 years now, Hannah. That's where I met my wife here.
Lovely. So,
and when I was sort of coming backwards and forwards, visiting when I could, but I thought I might as well move here because I mean. The world's become a small place these days, Hannah, and it just means that I can travel anywhere so easily.
Yeah, good stuff. So you're used to seeing snow then?
Oh, yeah, very much. But the thing over here is, as soon as the tiniest flutter, then the snow plows are out.
Right.
Clearing the roads and clearing the footpaths as well.
Yeah, see, that's the difference between Denmark and the UK, that the whole country came to a standstill when there was a bit of snow.
I know. I mean, I remember in the 70s when we always toured, obviously, in December. And if we did come across snow, I mean, we were stuck on the motorways or wherever, because, it was just blocked. So many times we were late for concerts and things.
Gosh. So I was really interested reading about your history and your background, and read that you learnt how to play the drums at Scouts.
At the Boy Scouts, yeah. When I joined the Boy Scouts when I was about 11 years old, and I always wanted to play the drum, but we had to play the bugle first. It was like an apprenticeship, and could I get a sound out of that thing? I used to stand at the back, just puffing my cheeks out, pretending I was playing, and they found me out, of course, and then there was the start. Then I was put to clean the drums, but at least I was on my way then.
Oh, brilliant! So you were more destined to be a drummer then, clearly.
That was it. Well, that's what I wanted. I wanted to play the drums, the Boy Scouts anyway. At that particular time, that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah. I read that you made your first pair of drumsticks from the stem of an artificial Christmas tree.
That's right. I tell you what, it took me, I don't know how long it took me, but I was so meticulous with these. Yeah, I saw the stem in half, and I did have a real pair of drumsticks to model these sticks on, and it took me forever. And I mean, I was like carving them with my Boy Scouts penknife, and sandpapering them and varnishing them, things like that. The first time I used them, they broke.
Oh no!
I was destroyed. Because like not knowing about wood, it was just a normal sort of cane on the artificial Christmas tree. And it broke my heart.
Oh. And in terms of how Slade came about, the name Slade, you started as the In-Betweens, didn't you?
That's right. Yeah, and that was the group that Dave Hill and myself was in, yeah.
And then Ambrose Slade became Slade. So how did all the names come about?
Well, the In-Betweens, I don't know where that came from. I mean, there was the three of us at the time: Johnny Howells, the vocalist, Mickey Morrison, the guitarist, and myself on drums. And that's when this guy was sort of managing us, and he recommended that we have another guitarist, and he knew Dave Hill from the show band he was playing in, and that's how that started. And I don't know where the in-betweens came from, but we sort of I don't know when we changed it to the Vendors after that, and then we sort of. When we had this recording audition, the head of the company didn't like the name, and he recommended that we change it. And we thought, well, if we don't change it, it might ruin our chances of getting a recording contract. And that was incredible for us. So we just put a competition in. It was like a sort of a fan club we had in our hometown, Wolverhampton, and this girl came up with Ambrose Slade. And apparently it came from she had names for everything in her handbag. Her lipstick was named Ambrose, and one was named Slade. I don't know, it's just a weird thing. But and that's when we met Chash Chandler, who became our manager and record producer. And of course, all the billings with Ambrose Slade, they were getting it all wrong. It was Arnold Slade, Ambrose Shed, or something like that, So we decided to drop the Ambrose and just become Slade. And that's how that started. That was about 1969, 1970, Hannah.
Wow. And how did you meet Noddy Holder? How did he become part of the group?
Well, we sort of, he was in a band. We used to play at this youth club, the In-Betweens. And I was in a group called the Memphis Cutouts, and they played the same youth club. And we used to go and watch them, and I was really impressed with Nod when I saw him, because he was the lead guitarist with his band at the time and the lead vocalist, and he just reminded me of John Lennon, even back then. And I just sort of, I don't know why, he was there in the back of my mind. And when the group that Dave myself was in, the In-Betweens, when we were sort of splitting up, we sort of bumped into Nod in Wolverhampton, our hometown, and we went and had a cup of tea, and we mentioned about sort of forming the band, but with Dave and myself just wanted to have a four-piece. We'd already auditioned for Jim Lee on bass, and then we had the first rehearsal in a pub just opposite where Nod lived with his parents. And it just worked straight away, Hannah. The first song we played together was Mr. Pitiful by Otis Redding, because both of the bands used to play that particular song, so we all knew that. And it just worked straight away, Hannah. We just fell about laughing because it was just so good, and we just carried on. It was just like everything that we'd ever dreamed of.
Oh, how wonderful. And
it was.
Take us back to December 1973 when you got that number one. What was that like?
It was incredible. But I must tell you the story about this. The 1973 was our year, really. We'd already had like two number ones go to number one the first day of release, and the third record, My Friend Stan, went to number four, number two, I think, and that they were saying we were finished. But anyway, sort of, we were on a world tour. We just finished this big tour of America, and we had a week off in New York before we flew on to Australia and Japan. And our manager, record producer, just sort of said, do you have anything, anything written? We might as well go in the studio while we're here. Now, this is in the summer, June, July of 73, and Nod and Jim said, well, we have this Christmas song. And they played it. And Chas said, we have to get into record this quickly. Anyway, I always remember there we were in New York, a heat wave, 100 degrees heat wave in the summer of 1973, and there we were singing that Christmas record. and it was very strange at the time. And would you believe, Anna, when we finished it, we weren't sure, as the band, we weren't sure that we wanted to release it. It just seemed strange. And like, luckily, our manager, record producer, Chaz, he said, I don't care what you lot say, this is coming out. and the rest is history. I mean, it was just incredible. I mean, we were on a crest of a wave anyway, but we actually got a gold record the first day of release.
Wow, amazing!
It was just incredible. It was just like, I can't explain the feeling, what it was like. And I mean, the only thing is, it was like everywhere I went. We were still living in our hometown then. Everywhere I went, Merry Christmas was playing. I always remember. I must tell you these two stories. And we were on tour at the time in December 73 when Merry Christmas was #1. And I was in this lift in this hotel. I think we were in Manchester on the tour. And I was in the lift going down to the reception, and I was at the front by the door, and Merry Christmas was playing in the lift, in the system in the lift. And this guy behind me said, "I'm so fed up with this record." and I turned around and faced him, and I wish I had a camera, the look on his face. It was brilliant. and the same in like a supermarket where I'm standing there trying to pay for my groceries, and he's playing on the system. And the girl on the till, the cashier, was singing it to the top of her voice, and I'm standing there sort of biting my lip trying to pay for my groceries. And then she looked up and she went blood red and hid her face in her hands, all that kind of thing. So some great stories like that. I mean, but it was still #1 in the new year.
Yeah, amazing. And if people had to name, songs that they really associate with Christmas and make them feel Christmassy, I mean, it's right up there for so many generations. That's the thing. It's not even just people who were around at the time and buying the music at the time. It's many generations since that'll go, "Oh yeah, I love that Slade song at Christmas."
No, it's amazing. I think really what captures it, Hannah, is Noddy Holder's lyrics. They're just, to me, they're right on the button there. Everything and I think that's what helped really sell the song, So, and I did it like I've been doing a few interviews, and I remember bumping into this guy in the shopping centre in Wolverhampton. He came up, he asked me for my autograph, and we were just talking, and he had his little daughter with him, and he said to his daughter, "You know this, don't you?" She said, "No." And he said, "Well, you know that group Slade?" And she said, "Oh, don't they sing about Christmas?" I mean, it's amazing. We've had 24 hits, Hannah, but people only ever remember Merry Christmas. But don't get me wrong, it's fantastic, really.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. And what are some of your other favourites then that you did?
The Slade song, Mama We're All Crazy Now, and Come On Feel the Noise is two of my favourites. I think I always remember the day we recorded those two particular tracks. Noddy Holder and Jim Lee had the song Mama We're All Crazy, and we were in the studio, and they just played it to us. And it was basically recorded in probably the third take. It was there. It was straight away. And we had a fantastic feeling. And Come On Feel the Noise, that was another one that we heard it in the studio the day we recorded it. And that was another one when you sort of, I mean, I think sure if you ask any artist, Hannah, that you get that feeling and you think, that this is the one, this is great, So, I'm sure if you ask any artist, Hannah, they will say the same thing.
Yeah. So what have you been up to since? You've been doing I know you've been doing all kinds of different music things, working with loads of people. You did had a group with Susie Quattro and Andy Scott for a while.
Yeah, that was great. That was Quattro, Scott and Powell. How that came about, Hannah, is like we Sweet, Slade and Susie Quattro did a big concert in Germany, I think it was. And Susie and you, myself, we were just sitting in the bar in the hotel afterwards, and we were just talking. We had a few drinks, and it was actually Andy Scott who said, "Now this will make a good band." Meaning the three of us, and that was it. And it wasn't until maybe a month or so later that Susie's husband, who was also a manager, called us up and says, "Would you be interested in doing some recordings?" I said, "For sure," because we weren't doing anything. Anyway, the three of us got together, and we went to Peter Gabriel's studio down sort of the west coast in England, and it's one of those places where you live there at the same time you live and you record there. And we just recorded the album. It just rolled on straight away. It went fantastic. And then Susie, who tours Australia every year, we sort of did it. It was released in Australia, and we were support for Susie's tour. So Susie, Andy, and myself opened the Susie Quattro show, and consequently, the album went top 20. And it was fantastic. And there's talk about us maybe doing another one as well, which would be great.
Oh, definitely. And
then I was working with some Danish musicians. No, I didn't particularly know these guys, but my wife Hannah, she knew the guys, and they're all very respected musicians from different bands along the way, sort of thing. And we just met in the studio just to see how it went, and the same again. It just happened straight away, and then we just recorded an album so quickly. But they're just mainly all covers. We actually do Far, Far Away, the Slade song, but all the rest are basically covers. And the album is called It's Never Too Late to Be a Rock Star, comes out next March the 3rd. And,
Wonderful.
And we're releasing a single on January the 6th called Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood. I think you probably know that song. It was a hit many in the 60s by the Animals, and I think it's one of those classic songs that many people have recorded. But that was a great experience. It's nice for me to be working with different musicians as well, Hannah, and just sort of having different styles to play. And it's I really got a kick from it.
Oh, I bet. So what are you called? How can we find you for those new songs?
That one is called Don and the Dreamers.
Brilliant. Don and the Dreamers.
Yeah, and then I've been doing some recordings with two other guys, Les Glover and Paul Coxon, who's like a poet in England. And we recorded an album together. And basically all the songs on the album were written between the three of us, So I've been really getting a buzz, sort of just working with different people.
Yeah, great stuff. I have to ask you, Don, yesterday I had a guy on who's a regular guest of ours, Ken Campbell, and he is a massive Slade fan. When I told him that I was chatting with you today, he sent me two separate photographs of him having met you over the years. He's seen you live so many times, and he was so excited that I was chatting with you today, but he's working, so he wasn't able to come on and say hello himself. But I thought it would be lovely if you could say hello to Ken.
Well, hello, Ken. It's very nice of you to follow us. But maybe if you speak to Hannah, maybe we can do a three-way chat on the air sometimes.
Oh, wonderful. He'd love that. That would be brilliant. Bless you, Don. That's so kind of you.
Yeah.
It's been great to chat with you. And if people want to hear what you're up to now, as you said, you're recording some things with Don and the Dreamers, so we can find you online that way. Yeah.
If you look on the thing, sort of Slade, it's sort of Slade, and not just for Christmas. If you look on that site, it's called Slade. It's not just for Christmas.
Okay.
And then it'll sort of tell you what's going on.
Perfect. We'll do that. Don Powell, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great Christmas.
And you too, Hannah. And thank you so much for making contact. And we'll do it again, eh?
Love to. Thank you, Don. Take care.
Take care, you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Don't stop now, come
Oh, fabulous. Slade and Mama, We're All Crazy Now. What a lovely man Don Powell is. Really nice to chat with him.